The independence is very, very important.
Very well.
You know, we are going to celebrate independence in the next 2-3 days in this country. And it's a very important day for the Gambia, where we were belonging to the colonial or British. Now we have our own self. First of all, Essa, what is the importance of celebrating independence?
Thank you very much. This is a very important question. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency the President on his 60th anniversary or birthday, which coincides with the Diamond Jubilee of our country. To answer to your question, Mr. Jallo, independence is very important. To attain political independence of the country, in a peaceful and orderly manner, is really a cause to celebrate. Why that is so significant? Most of the countries, or some of the countries, attain their selfhood and independence through a guerrilla war or civil unrest,
to get themselves,
or revolution, or a serious war, in order for them to attain their independence. But unlike Gambia, thank God, through the foresightness of our leaders and our forefathers, they fought the independence of this country through peaceful means, through political maturity, through dialogue, through consensus building, through hard working, but not on a violent or revolutionary manner. So this is something that we need to cherish and celebrate. We also have to signify the day and to celebrate our forefathers who fought for the independence.
Very well. The likes of
if we went or we take you to a memory land, we will realize that pre-independent Gambia, even the British authorities, who were our colonial masters by then, they were not even anticipating Gambia with attain selfhood. Even if in there as we attain our selfhood, we could not even survive for even 3 months. To back my argument, that is based on one of the British writer called Mr. Rice, Buckley Rice, who write on the independent Gambia. He used to call Gambia on probability state.
Wow.
On probability state.
Okay.
You go to his book, Gambia Attain Its Independence. You realize that he used to call Gambia on probability state.
Wow.
Yeah, because you look at the Gambia, you see the size of the country.
It's very small.
And the demographic nature of the citizens. You know, there are no mineral resources where you can bank to take your country to another level. We don't have nothing. Even our human resources by then
was very low.
We were very low. We were below 500,000
by then.
Now, the intellectual capacity then, because you cannot just run the country without having an intellectual, individuals in the country.
That's true.
Because you need to take the country to another level. The education background of citizens was very low.
Definitely.
So now you governments are agitating to have your selfhood. How will you survive?
That was a big question by then.
Big question. Some of them suggest that they want to annex us to Senegal. They think that we can be one region in Senegal. It's better for us than we to claim that we want to be attain our selfhood. But with the charismatic leadership of and foresightness of our then political leaders, they insisted that no, what happened by hook or by crook, we want to attain our selfhood. No matter what happened, we want to attain our independence. After few years of negotiation here and there, because it all started in around 60s, 62 referendums started. Then from the referendum now, they said we will set up a committee, independent committee, who will be going here and there going to Marlborough House, going to, you know, some other avenues in UK to discuss about how the roadmap of the country, the roadmap of the Gambia, until eventually 1965 was a day that was set aside for the Queen Elizabeth by then to hand over the constitutional instrument to Sir Duke of Kent, who handed over to then Prime Minister Sir D.K. Jawara, Dawda Kairaba Jawara. It happens on 18 February 1965. It's when Gambia attained its selfhood, and the Union Jack was lowered, and the national flag was hoisted at the Makati Square.
That was an important day
that was a historical moment
for the Gambia.
And that's why His Excellency the President want to return the country back to that memory lane, to return the event from its initial venue, as Makati Square. That's why today this year also, you know, the independence will be celebrated to the as its ancient ground.
That is Makati
Square.
Let's talk about the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara and co, who fought very well to make sure that the Gambia attained independence. You know,
you can never talk about the independence of the Gambia without you going to the former president of late memory, His Excellency President Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, who was the founding father who ushered the country to the independence. He steered the affairs of the country from 1965 to 1994. And you're going to talk about Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara without mentioning the People Progressive Party, that is PPP. From 1950s towards 1960, the political evolution and revolution started in this country. Starting from Edward Francis Small, Reverend J.C. Fai, I.B. Gaba Jahumpa, and you name them. Who then they were agitating for rights of citizens, rights of taxpayers. Because they have been paying taxes to the colonial masters, but the citizens, their rights were not being protected. There wasn't like any benefit that is coming back to the taxpayers, and they cannot claim for their right. You cannot hold them to account. So you are just like forcing to pay the dues and taxes, rate and taxes, and give it up to some people to benefit from it.
It does not reflect.
It will not return back to you.
That's true.
And it will reflect to better your life and livelihood.
Beautiful.
So those leaders then, notably Edward Francis Small, form a union, a workers' union. You see, say, okay, now I'm going to form, because his remarkable achievement or efforts that he did to usher Gambia into an independent nation. Because everything, even Calvin starts from one. So he did that. He formed a trade union, a workers' union. Then after that one, this workers' union was recognized by colonial masters, and now they keep on fighting for their right. He keep on steering the affairs of this union, fighting for the rights of the workers' unions. And now he have a famous phrase that always is remembered for that phrase, which is, there is no taxation without representation.
Of course.
Now he confronted the colonial masters then. As far as we are paying our taxes, we need a representative in your cabinet, in your parliament, in decision making.
Beautiful.
We need to have someone who will sit there and decide on our favor and fight for our right. But we cannot save our hairs without us being present.
Of course, that's true. That's very true.
So he did that one. He makes sure that what happens. Then they started having representation in the decision making forums of colonial power masters. Thanks to Edward Francis Small's effort.
Beautiful.
So that what ushered in political evolutions, a multi-party system started ushering UP. You have UP, you know, of Pace Njai,
yes.
You have then you have PPP. But before PPP, it was UP. Njai, Njai.
Exactly.
And now the elections also then it used to happen, and then also Ibrahim Gaba Jahumpa also have a Muslim party. He also formed a Muslim party. So, but that party's lifespan was in that long. So UP, they used to have an election, but it's only Banjul and Kombo St. Mary's.
In those days.
In those days, it doesn't cover entire length and breadth of the country. So in 1962, you have PPP. PPP also now it's not Jawara who formulated the party at instant stage.
Okay.
There was a protectorate people. That's why the first name of PPP was People's Protectorate Party.
Progress.
People Protectorate Party. That was the first name of PPP.
Then they changed it to PPP.
Now, they now registered a political party, but to have a leader who will serve their interests, who will align himself with the ideology of the party. Because you see, they think that there's this enfranchisement. What does that mean? You deprive me from my political right of voting, right of participation, right of sharing my thought and expressions. So that they think that the citizens have been disenfranchised of their political right. So when they feel that one, now they say because of why they form that party, they call it Protectorate Party. That means people that are not capitalists, that are inferior people that are living in rural areas. Because they think that they urbanize the political system of the country. Only urban area will vote. Only Banjul and surrounding will vote in any election. But the rural people will never have right to participate in election. I mean, they impose the authority on them. So PPP, that's why the first name was representing people of protectorate people. People are rural people. Now they were searching to have someone who will have a rural background, who will come from a rural background, an intellectual someone who will come from a rural background.
Exactly.
Because if you pick your candidate from the urban center, that person will not serve your interest.
Of course.
So now they want to have somebody whose forefathers are from rural area. So the person will align himself with their thought and expression. So that's what brought in. They search. They went into some other people's, and eventually they came to meet Sarano Kairawa Jawara. By then he was a veterinary doctor.
Exactly.
They approached him and they went to convince him. They went to referendum, seeking for independence. As a party that says, no, we don't need to have independence, we need to have better whatever. But PPP said, no, we want to have ourselves. Jawara spearheaded the party. They went and have in the first election. The election was won by UP. Sorry, United Party.
United Party, okay.
UP's name is United Party.
Okay.
Yes. So they went and voted. UP won the election. But why the PPP appealed? They said no, they don't agree. And now the argument they put forward was that because the entire country did not participate in election. So this verdict did not reflect the real verdict of the citizens and the citizens of the country.
Okay.
So we want the election to be repeated, so that everybody take part.
Inclusive.
Like make an inclusive election. So when that one day they say, okay, no problem. Now we will schedule another day. We allow you people, everybody to go and campaign. You circulate the entire length and breadth of the country. Then from there, we will see what will happen. If election is conducted around that particular, then now we will see the result. If the result reflected in any form, you all will agree, say we all will agree, and we will leave it at that.
Okay.
That's why those forefathers, Papa Ture, Sanjani Bojang, you name them.
You name them.
They have to a bicycle, a pedal bicycle to take. Some will go by foot to campaign of the provinces to sell agenda of the PPP.
That was difficult.
Very difficult. That was like a tar road, a motorable road. They used to have a luxurious thing. Used to have a bicycle. Somebody with bicycle, there's a luxury by them.
Of course.
But they with all the difficulty, they fought. They made sure that they disseminated the impression to the entire of the country.
To make sure that
and the election was repeated. PPP won.
Again.
Yes. Before UP won, but now PPP has won the election. When they won the election, now is the time that, because their manifesto is independent. They were agitated and calling for independence. When they won the election, now that is the time for transition.
Okay.
The transition took place 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Beautiful.
To make sure to call PPP elders to Marlborough House and other houses in UK to discuss about the way forward
for the Gambia.
How are you going to govern yourself? Who will be your president? How will you manage this, your resources? And they met to British meant to impose on them to be paying like a sort of contribution.
Wow.
Yes, because your coffer is empty.
It's empty. Nothing is there, absolutely.
There's no consolidated revenue.
Wow.
There's nothing like to say this is our budget, this is our starting capital. So they say you cannot have your country like that because you don't have anything that you run the country. No, a single penny inside your
coffer.
Your coffer.
That's true.
So now you have to contribute. They have to do contribution, and keep the money until around 1965. They think now what you have, according to the history, they started with £1 million.
Wow. In those days. It was not easy to get independent.
By then, Gambia did not have currency. We were using British pound with some other colonial colonies like Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Nigeria.
And other countries.
You see?
That's good.
So all that came. Now, the independence was ushered. The Gambia attained selfhood. Now, President started, then Prime Minister. By then he was a Prime Minister because the Constitution still, there was no Constitution. We are governed by the British Constitution. Queen still serves as the head of state, but the Jawara is the Prime Minister until 1970, April 24th, where Gambia started having its own first Constitution. You call it 1970. That's why you have always 1970 Constitution. They will never do 1965 Constitution.
That's true.
It's 1970 is where we usher into a republic.
Okay. By then we get
our Constitution because it is the Constitution that makes the country a republic.
Exactly.
So now we started our first republic in 1970, 24th of April. That's why they started calling the president by then Jawara the president of the republic. But before he was called a prime minister. So all those things are history. And Jawara started naming streets. Independence Drive was named. And the following day, on the 19th of February, 1965, they constituted a first parliament. A first parliament was constituted in this country, which was led by the first speaker, Sir Aliu Suleiman Jack. The then speaker's father was the first speaker in the National Assembly of the Gambia. So all these things are beautiful history. So that shows you, how intelligent, how steadfast our forefathers were in that era.
They fought very
how difficult it took them, but they took all the difficulties to make sure we are not annexed by Senegal. We are not left behind. Countries are getting their independence. We could not get our own, and they made sure we could not get it. We did not get our independence through a rebellion or a revolution or a guerrilla war or a fight.
We get our independence
peacefully through negotiation, through political leadership, through charismatic leadership, through a peaceful and tranquility and transformation.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. Yes, now as you said, we have been ruled by the British for over 400 years. Tuesday marked Gambia 60 years of independence.
Those stories, we got them through books and through also oral history. You understand? So, but we need to understand how, because there was a very limited educational facilities in 1965. Even to have, there were few primary schools in this country.
High schools were limited.
We are very limited. If you have it, very limited. So how PPP government be able to transform the country to make sure that they, infrastructural development, they start to pave ways, highways from here to Basse. They started building, constructing schools, infrastructural development, to change people's perception from Western education. By then, many people think that Western education is forbidden. How they manage to change the perception of the citizens, to allow them to be enrolling their kids to school, Western education. So how they manage ministries, healthcare, policing. By then we were not even having the armed forces. You have a field force and police.